Morning guys, welcome back to the channel. Scorpion went back 2 days ago, but what I want to do now is give the sheep a bit of an MOT. So I'm going to trim their hooves, spray them if there's any issues, worm them. I want to try and keep on top of them because obviously they're going to be sold for breeding. Hurdles are here, Teddy's in the car, neighbour's actually just across the way getting his sprayer ready. The boss is ready. Where are the sheep, Edward? They're over there, are they? Good boy. Tough life farming, isn't it? You here, Grandad? Got the horn of Rambo and the little cover for the comb. This is the extension. This is the converter for a 12-volt battery, so we can run it off the car if we need to. Has got its own battery, and then the Footmaster spray. Do you want to take it and feed the sheep? Yeah? Dad's just bringing the sheep down. What was really annoying, because we tied them so tight at the bottom, I couldn't push them so they would naturally come off. They wanted to constantly fall over, and because they're so heavy, I thought it was going to take out that bit of roof. So my plan in all this, once Dad brings them in, I'm then going to be shutting the corral behind them. Then we can get to work. Because basically, because he's behind them instead of in front of them, they're obviously getting a bit confused, and they know that I feed them as well. As soon as we start feeding in here, they'll go back round and start to go in. So I'm going to put you down. Right, so after a bit of messing around, we managed to get them in. As you see, with sheep, nothing always goes to plan. That one was caught in the bush, so Dad had to go and get him out. Here we go. What do you think, Edward? Is that fun? Now, I didn't show you the end because there was only 2 left and they decided to try and jump out, so we had to kind of go action stations. So in the future, I'm going to make sure I've got at least 5 or 6 in there so they keep each other company. Didn't use the trimmers in the end. The reason being their wool was still pretty wet, so I want to come down in a couple of weeks' time. Dad just coming on with Edward. It's probably worth noting just how much Edward enjoys Dad's company. Like, he's never happier than when, you know, he's out with Grandad on the farm, which is really nice. You know, to have that kind of relationship is really important. Is that fun? So I wormed the sheep about a week ago, and already the 3 that were looking a bit ropey seem to have actually fleshed out. So it tells me maybe even though they didn't show signs of having worms other than losing weight, they probably did. Morning everyone. So things are starting to heat up. We're still waiting to do our spring drilling. Apologies I haven't been able to do a video for a couple of weeks. There's been a load of stuff at the house, and then also just seem to have constantly got ill. I say I haven't really got my voice back. We've gone through a lot of wood this year. I've got a load of soft wood that I can get, which an arborist brought down because they were dangerous. And then there's also another tree which come down in the storm, which is going to go pick up as well. So I parked away from the trees just in case any more come down. But these are the ash trees that I spoke about in previous videos. Most of them are rotten. That one is basically rotten through the core, and there are 3 different trees coming out of it, so they will eventually fall down. The last lot of storm that we had just brought 1 down, but the other 2 really do need felling. But this is what I was saying. So because we drilled this with the Claydon during that demo time, the tractor's in 2-wheel drive. It's rained for about 14, 21 days, and we barely made a mark at all. So I'm really impressed. It's kind of an unintentional benefit of the machine. That's the mark we've made, so it's pretty good. So this is the tree. So I'm going to cut it into rings, go collect the rest, head down, then we're going to use the splitter, and I'll just get it all ready for next year. So I'm hoping it's only going to take an hour or 2 to cut this one up, about 15 minutes to collect the other timber down there, and then I can go back to the farm and start using the tough splitter to split it all, get it on that trailer, and it can sit there then during the summer to season. The core reason that this thing fell, you see, it's so rotted. It's basically just rotted itself right out of the ground, and then with those storms and the wind, it's just actually really conveniently, which is great for us, is actually fallen that way. So it's pretty much fallen on the strip anyway, but I want to get it done now because I've got a load of spare time before we start spring drilling. But you can see this one here is in pretty much the same position. So first tank of juice gone. I've cut all of this up, just working my way through the main rings. I'm going a bit bigger because I want to test how good the tusk splitter is. And then after that, I'm going to clear up all this stuff because I've only bought 1 saw. Otherwise, I should have brought the baby saw to get the rest of this small stuff because I don't like touching the nice teeth of the husky. It was 1 o'clock, finished cutting all that up. I only took 2 tanks, which is good. You can see why the tree rotted out. Look at this, there's basically compost in here. The worst bit about wood collection, cutting wood up, is it's great fun to cut it up. It's such a pain to pick it up and put it in the trailer. So on this rotten caught out log, I've created an invertebrate hotel. No other bugs are obviously welcome, but the notion is, when you look at circular farming, they suggest that all the spiders and bugs should live here, go out into the crop, feed on all the pests that we don't want, and in theory that would reduce your need for insecticide. Now on acres it's probably not going to work, but if you had like a small vegetable garden, it would be useful to allow bugs to go near it so that they would then eat everything off your allotment. It's quite a clever idea. I've seen someone else put loads of bird tables and things around the outside of their vegetables so that the birds will come down and eat all the insects. It's really clever. This is the second load of wood which has just been taken off this by this boundary fence. This part of the field actually belonged to this piece originally, but we sold it to the house. So there's a nice bit of kind of history to it. Got this soft wood that we're going to pick up and split it and probably leave it longer to dry before we burn it, but it should smell really nice. Good load of logs. Got all the pine sap on my hands now. It's all over my phone as well. Bucket of wild seed that we've had that we need to move around, so I'll get rid of this. Dad enjoys using the splitter, so we'll chuck it all in this bucket for now. That massive thing. Forager. Market's packed. Just up at Mole Valley getting some shavings for the sheep, and we've also picked up a couple of new licks. Those sheep are mine, those mules are the first that I've actually had go through a proper load of buckets. Usually they get wet and they get wasted because they go all soft on the top. So I'm going to grab a couple more, and hopefully if this weather holds out, we're going to be able to stitch in some of our oats that we've got. So we just got a couple of strips of oats that we want to put in. Just delivered the sawdust. We're going to go back, calibrate the drill for the oats, and as I say, stitch them in. Annoyingly, I wasn't able to get all of that wood chopped yesterday, so I'll try and split the rest of it today. It does not seem to be enough hours in the day to do it all these days. So I've just wormed those 2 pet Southdowns. Now we're going to go calibrate the drill. Now we won't go into a lot of detail, but if anyone wants to have a look, obviously I'll put a video link description above. Day 2, got the rest of this to do. I'm going to go on splitting the rest of this. I'm hoping to finish. Dad's going to calibrate up the drill for the oats. He'll go up and do that, and I'm also just going to go up, show you guys. I know you love a Claydon video, and then come back, try and finish the rest of it. We are nearly finished. There's a massive pile of logs here. This is now empty. See my neighbours doing a bit of spraying. So we've cut all we can cut. We've got a massive pile, which is good. So in a sec, we're gonna calibrate the drill, move that, and then we'll go up and do some of those oats. And that's full as well. Oiling them up so it doesn't rust. So look at the oats, and then we come down here and we're saying what, 124, and you're saying sort of 130 to 150 is 40 centimeters. So then that should be wound out to about 40 centimeters. Cool. So what we've done, we've got 124 kilos a hectare that we're going to be putting on of this seed. There's barely any to, as I say, we're just doing a couple of strips. So we've got the drill set up. It's wound out to the 40 mil, not 40 centimeters, that I stupidly said. So we're going to put the bag in, calibrate up, and then we should be good, really. So hopefully by sort of 2, half 2, we can go out drilling. So we've built these extra safety plates, which basically stops the pallet just going straight off the end because it's only on a runner. So Dad's created those little plates just for safety. So we're going to pick that bag up, which is just behind him. So you've got 100 kilos here of cannon oats. So I'm just going to lift him over the side to drill. we'll bring this down, keep that back. On here, to save the paint coming off, we've put these little end hose pipe ends. It's quite a poor design. To stop it rotating, it has to be fitted into there, but obviously it takes all the paint off, allows the rust to go in. Set
124, wasn't it?
Aye. Oh. There you go.
Thank you.
So I'm just going to pick up the NZ, move it back out of the way. Hydraulics are a bit fast. Might get away with that. Just go slow. Right, that'll get us out of trouble. So you guys might recall, this is what we got. Instead of getting a straw harrow, we wanted something that would do more than a straw harrow, but less than kind of deep cultivation. So we went for this NZ. At the time, straw harrows were really expensive. They were a real, like, in-demand, popular, hot thing to have, and they went up in price. So as a result of that, we decided to go for this instead, which was a fraction of the cost. It's 7.2 meters wide, and it does an absolute great job. So I'll put a video in the description above. Not loads going on, unfortunately, because we're just going into spring and the weather's been really miserable, but I had some great videos last year, so I'll keep posting links. Do check out my previous videos, and then obviously continue to watch these. I've got the agreement with the other dealership that I'm going to be working with. They got some amazing big chrome machinery that we can go have a look at. Also, we're going to be doing things here, and then there's always just constant change. So hopefully you're going to enjoy that. It's quite difficult to YouTube and drive. Just going to wind these out. Just stitching in these few oats now. I thought Dad might drive actually, but sticking them in. Just been getting to grips with what depth we needed, but otherwise going in pretty well. Nice view. Although the tank sensor seems a bit sensitive, keep cancelling it and it keeps coming back up. But it's a bloody nice day actually. A lot of pickup on the wheels though. Surprisingly, it's slightly wetter than you might think. So we've put the following harrows down, put the battleboards up. Bit of mud kicking up on the tyres, but otherwise it needs to go in now. I think we're supposed to have rain over the next sort of 3-4 days, and then after that it's going to be dry again. So I'm going to try stick the linseed in and then put the spring barley in as well. We're only doing 6 strips of these oats, and this is for a kind of a separate project which I'm hoping I can kind of show you on the channel at a bit of a later date. Going pretty well. Not much more you can really say. We're still happy with the Claydon. The tank sensor is a bit sensitive. There you can see my sheep through the hedge. They see me. Look, they're going to head to the trough. Now also, you've got one guess. Who wins Muppet of the Month award? Basically, I found out we hadn't turned the seeder on, so I went back to the start. For whatever reason, I sort of forgot that I put the bout marker down, and I put it straight through the wall. Could argue that I was testing Claydon to its max. Yeah, hit the wall out. Muppet of the Month. But, I mean, the way I look at it, it's just made it easier to get in with the combine. Someone was going to hit it, so I might as well have taken one for the team. Smashed that beauty out. Just loading the wood up on the trailer. I think that's so much more timber than we cut last year in just one sitting, which is quite interesting. Because I cut a load of trees down last year and they didn't amount to anywhere near this one. So we can't push against that trunking, so we have to just drag it backwards. Guys, thanks for watching. It's something a little bit different. We haven't quite started our spring drilling yet. Hope you've enjoyed it. Please do give it a big thumbs up. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Tims Cotteswold Farm, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.